Good morning, everyone. If you can hear my voice, please press, oh, actually, no, I hear some of you, I think, connecting now. Let me see. Can everyone see me okay? You can, let me see if I can unmute you. Let's see here. If you can see me, please give me a verbal yes and a hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Daryl.
Hey.
Daryl is our president. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
hello, it's Dr. Valerie.
Hi, Dr. V.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
Won't allow me to, I realized that my computer camera is not.
Computer camera not working, Dr. V?
Yeah, I clicked on here. Yeah, next time I have to use a camera. I mean, different computer, I think.
Okay, well, no worries, no worries. I see that we have Gina here. Let me unmute your mic, Gina. Oh, Gina, I think you have to unmute on your end. It's not allowing me to do that.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing, Gina? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi,
Hi, who just said hello? Who's that?
this is Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Let me go ahead and change your name on here, Patricia. Let me see. Patricia. Got it. Okay, it was showing up as your mobile device. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay.
Who else do we have here? I think Avalicia. Hope I said that correctly. Yes. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure can. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you not have any video capability?
I do, but I'm driving, so
okay,
it would be kind of dangerous to do that right now.
Totally agree. Thank you for practicing safety first. That's always a priority. Okay, I see that we have Adrienne. Hi, Adrienne. I don't know if maybe Adrienne stepped away. I think her camera is on, but maybe she's not in the room right now. Okay, and then Mark Williams. Mark, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Mark, I can barely hear you.
Okay, hold on, let me make some adjustments.
Let me see. Mark, while you get the volume together, I'm gonna see who else has chimed in. It looks like Brent is here. Hi, Brent.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. We're super excited about this conversation. I'm actually gonna go ahead and share my my screen so that we can pull up the SBA's website.
All right, very good.
So Brent, what we're gonna do, and I know people are still coming in, let me go ahead and make you a co-host here. Yes, make you a co-host. Okay, so Brent, what we're gonna do is kind of just start off letting folks introduce themselves very quickly, just by stating the name of the business that they're representing today and also the industry that they serve. And then after that, we'll get right into the discussion, obviously, about the loans and other services that are available to mobile business owners. And we're probably not going to get to everyone in terms of the introductions because people are just kind of trickling in now. But nevertheless, those who are here now, we're going to go ahead and start with those introductions very quickly. And then we're going to jump into the actual discussion today because we have a lot of good, important information to cover. So let's start with Patricia. If you would, please let us know what business you're representing, Patricia, in the industry that you're servicing.
Yes. Hello, Brent. Okay,
Hello.
First of all, I'm representing two businesses, actually. One being landscaping and tree removal, and the other would be trucking. Transportation is called New Image Trucking. So it's kind of interesting today because it's two different businesses. However, got a lot of questions, but everything is through malls.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Patricia. And Gina, if you don't mind chiming in and letting us know what business you're representing and what industry you serve.
Yes, thank you. My business is Touching Heart Senior Care, and we are in-home senior care, so kind of healthcare. And then I have another business. It's a CBD store, so that's kind of health and wellness. And I'm working on opening up a coffee shop. So I'm right in the middle of
Wow.
building a coffee shop.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have, yeah, I want to find out what I need to do.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for that, Gina. Let's jump over to Michelle Davis. Michelle Davis, if you don't mind just letting us know the name of the company that you're representing and the industry that you serve.
How y'all doing this morning? I have a independent insurance agency and also a nonprofit where we advocate for the homeless. So I'm trying to still do both of them, and it's getting a little hectic, I must say.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll be able to help you through that today, Michelle. Next up, let's go to Terry. Terry, if you don't mind letting us know the business that you're representing and the industry that you serve. Terry, are you there? Okay, we're going to skip Terry for now. We're going to go over to Levy, our chairman. Levy, if you don't mind letting us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
Good morning. My name is Levy King, and the name of my business is Coached Up. We are a professional development firm where we do workshops and trainings for our clients, helping them to develop a winning culture.
Thank you so much for that, Levy.
Yes,
Next up, we have Dr. Valerie James. Dr. V, if you don't mind letting us know the name of your company and the industry that you serve.
Good morning, everyone. My organization is Vision Stock Consulting. We specialize in management consulting and people, process, and productivity improvement. So we maximize efficiency in organizations around the globe.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Next up, we have Mark. Mark, I'm back at you now. If you would, please just let us know the name of your business and the industry that you're serving. And Mark, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, how is everybody doing?
Doing well, thank you.
My wife and I has a traveler business. It's called iBoomerang, and what we try to do, we try to help save on the travel industry, baby, give you a discount. From
Okay.
20 to 70% off.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Mark.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, now we're going to go over to Avalisha. Avalisha, if you would, please let us know the name of your business and the industry that you're serving. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I own Driven Engineering. We're a civil engineering consulting firm, and just here to find out what we can do to get through this tight spot.
Okay, thank you for that. Christy, if you would, please chime in and let us know the name of your business and the industry that you're serving.
Hi, yes, I'm here actually serving or representing two companies. One is Coastal Express Shuttle. It's a shuttle service that services the Orange Beach and Gulf Shores area. Tourists and locals that travel into Pensacola Airport and Mobile's Airport looking to get to that tourist destination, and Rely Delivery Service, which is a local same-day delivery service in the city of Mobile.
Thank you so much, Christy. Carlos, another one of our board members, if you would, please tell us the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carlos Jones. I'm owner of CWJ Group. We offer tax and accounting services to individuals and small businesses.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Carlos. Erica, would you please let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve?
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm here representing two businesses. I am in the transportation business, and my husband, he's in the barbering and style business. He has a barbershop.
Thank you so much, Erica. Arkneet Kid, if you would, please chime in and let us know the name of the business and the industry you serve.
I am with the City of Mobile, and I am the Supplier Diversity Manager here. So I'm here actually to serve you all, the disadvantaged minority-owned business.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your work. Just a few more here before we get started. Georgiana Williams, if you would, please let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve. Georgiana, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I am representing two businesses. I'm here representing my husband, the Palmer Williams Group. We're a nonprofit based in Pritchard, and Big Trucks Rolling. We're a trucking business.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Georgiana. Burke, if you would, please let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve. Okay, Burke disappeared. Jennifer, if you would let us know the name of your industry and the business, I'm sorry, the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
Hi, I work with Archneek, and I also work at the City of Mobile.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Trying to make sure that is Adrian. Adrian, are you back? Adrian Tucker, are you in? Okay, Adrian, I think, has stepped away. Tawana Williams, are you able to let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve? Okay, Tawana is not present. Want to make sure I'm not leaving anyone out. I see several people that have joined via phone. Delvin Cowens, if you would please let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
I'm Delvon Cowens, and I representing Cowens HR and Payroll Solutions, and I provide software and implementation services for HR, payroll, and accounting to small and medium-sized businesses.
Thank you so much, Delvon. John Hillard, if you would please let us know the name of your business and the industry you serve.
Hi, this is John. My company is Mobile Sports and Entertainment Group. We manage Hank Aaron Stadium and the Hank Aaron Childhood Home and Museum.
Thank you, John. Cornelius, if you would please let us know the name of your business and the industry you serve. Cornelius? Cornelius, it sounds like you're breaking up a little bit there. I'm so sorry. I'm going to mute you for now, and then we'll try to get you around Q&A. You're breaking up a bit. Spencer Ruggs, if you would please let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
Yes, I'm Spencer Ruggs with Covenant World Construction General Contracting Firm here in Mobile, Alabama.
Thank you so much. And Chandra Brown, the name of your business and the industry that you serve. I don't think Chandra is there. Deborah Robinson, the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
Good morning, Deborah Robinson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, and that is the industry in which I serve.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Dee, I think that's DeWanda Davis, I believe. If you would, please let us know the name of your business and the industry you serve.
Hello, it's DeWanda Davis, and I'm an antique and resale shop locally here in Mobile, Alabama. And I also have Elevated Career Services, which is a career services firm to help individuals get prepared for their next level professionally.
Excellent. And this is the last one for now, you all, because we want to jump into this very important discussion. Phoenicia West, if you would please chime in and let us know the name of your business and the industry that you serve.
Yes, I'm a licensed massage therapist, and the name of my company is Massage Essential Time.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. So I am Maria Richard, Vice Chair of the Black Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also the owner of Management 24. We are a marketing business focusing on content marketing. And thank you all, first of all, for joining Brent and myself today. Brent is working with the SBA locally there in Mobile as a service area manager. And so I'm going to share my screen here really quickly because we're obviously going to talk about a very important discussion here, which is with regard to how we as business owners, especially in Mobile, can receive some federal aid during this time of this international pandemic. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And then Brent, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you so that way you can get started with this conversation, because I know that we have a lot of questions today. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that you all can at least see the website. And then we're going to get started. Share. And if you all will please let me know in the comments section, the chat section, if you can see the screen, that would be wonderful. If you could let me know if you could see my screen. Can anyone see my screen? I'm looking in the comment section now. Okay, perfect.
I can't type that because I'm driving, but I can see it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I see a lot of yeses
Patricia.
here.
I can see it.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Okay, so Brent, if you don't mind just kind of introducing yourself here very quickly, and then we'll dive into exactly what the SBA is doing to help business owners, especially in Mobile.
Yes, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Maria, for the invitation. I am the Senior Area Manager for SBA in South Alabama. although I'm teleworking from home today, I normally occupy an office on Montalbar Drive. Of course, the Small Business Administration is the chief federal agency. It's a cabinet level agency. Although small, it is charged with helping American small businesses start, grow, and succeed, and then recover from disasters. And that will be the theme, the overwhelming theme of the discussion today.
Okay, excellent. So, of course, I've been doing my due diligence to see exactly what programs or loans or any sort of capital that's available for business owners. One of the common questions that we've received is just how to start. Where do we start the process? How do you get started? What are the qualifications to qualify for some of the products or loans that the SBA has to offer for business owners in Mobile?
Okay, I'm going to try to put this in 3 different answers to your question, Maria.
Okay.
All of you know that the news is headlining a stimulus bill that's being put together. I'm not even sure the House of Representatives at the national level has approved what came out of the Senate yesterday, but it is supposedly going to be approved, perhaps with some modifications. It then has to go as a bill approved by Congress to be signed by the president. And the implications are that we have several days, if not a week or two, before that bill will become law and then be codified in a way that the principal agencies involved, including the SBA, can put the bill into action. That bill most notably has improvements in funding for 7A loans through our partner commercial banks, offering a higher guarantee ostensibly, as high as 100%, and then stipulating that in the case of the portions of that loan that are used for payroll, there may be provisions for waivers. Now, that is all speculation. We do not know for sure what that bill will entail, nor the specific planks that are in the bill. And as soon as we get that information, we will be rolling that out as quickly as possible. So I don't want people to confuse what I'm going to talk about in this second and third stage of advice with that ongoing effort in Congress and with the president to roll out this much bigger stimulus bill. Okay, what we do offer is economic injury disaster loans, EIDL, EDL, if you will. Those loans are directly applied for from affected small business victims to this coronavirus epidemic or pandemic. Those loans have to be applied for online on the website with the SBA disaster office. The loans are designed to meet the missing revenues caused by the closing down of so many small businesses in order for them to stay alive through meeting their operating expenses, including payroll, inventory, working capital, debt service, and other ordinary operating expenses. This is the page that you would go to. The blue circle is where you apply online. And when you click on that, you'll go to another page that talks about the forms and the sets of information that you will need in order to apply. Significantly, there is a request, or will be a request, for some sort of analytical analysis of your losses. And that includes your current state of loss of revenue, and then a projection if that is going forward, caused by the quarantine that may last some months, if you will. We hope that won't be the case, but it may. consequently, we're recommending that most small businesses do a current status of missing revenues, the shutting down of their customers coming to their businesses, and then project that out 6 months into the middle fall through September. That would be a good place to start for asking for an amount of money in a loan from the disaster program that equals those dollars that are lost or forecasted to be lost. Now, the sooner you work on that and get it put together in a way that is comprehensive and objective, the better off you're going to be in terms of applying for the loan. You do have to furnish other information like a personal financial statement. You have to sign off on a 4506 form to allow the IRS to share your latest income tax returns, to show your actual last year's revenues. And there are other requirements. Anybody who has a business interest of over 20% in your firm would also have to fill out the same information. Again, when you make this application, you're not dealing with a bank or with a certified development corporation or some other intermediary. You're dealing directly with SBA, who is using monies furnished through the Department of Treasury from Congress to help victims of this quarantine. This money is designed not to allow you to refinance existing debt, but to be used to meet your revenue needs, especially payroll and maintaining your employees. So we are operating in the spirit of trying to get this money done in a way that allows some flexibility for the applicant in terms of repayment, which, by the way, can go out to 30 years. There is no payment penalty if you want to pay it off early. The loan amounts are up to $2 million. The interest rate is 3.75%, and that rate is set by the statute based on a formula. The emphasis, again, on the part of the disaster team application staff is to work as much as they can to be flexible in getting money in the hands of small business owners who are suffering from the loss of revenues for this disaster. So it is an important step for you as a small business to consider applying. I would urge you to do so. If you find out that in the stimulus package that I referred to a little earlier, once it becomes law, if it does, and then has some process, if you feel like that loan program should be part of what you want, then ideally you could use, if approved, those monies to pay off the disaster loan. That's just one scenario. There's nothing wrong with you having a 7A enhanced as it may be with a bank that is lending you money for this quarantine, along with the economic injury disaster loan assistance that you may have also qualified for. You want to be as transparent as you can in terms of getting your hands on the money, and then also depending on the flexibility that the disaster office will make available to you. One example of that is that it's already stipulated by the disaster office that any existing disaster loans that you may have from Hurricane Katrina or the beach oil spill in Baldwin County, those loan payments monthly can be put off, can be waived for the time being, or delayed. The disaster loan that you may apply for now in light of this virus quarantine could be started only after 6 months of not having to make a payment. Again, a chance for you to use the money to meet your operating needs without having to also worry about paying the loan back immediately. So the economic injury disaster loan program is a real winner for small businesses who are adversely affected by this disaster. And I would urge you to take a long look at this website. This is the second page that you would have once you click on the first page that was shown by Maria, and go through there and assemble that information. Even print the Form 5 out, which is the major form that you put information into for the application. Print it out, fill it out manually, and then you can make sure that it's complete before you make the final entries electronically in order to submit the loan to the disaster office. There is an underwriting process that will look especially for your capacity in normal revenue flows to be able to pay the loan back eventually after the 6-month waiver period. I say waiver, it's actually a delay in payments required for the approved economic injury loans. They're also going to be looking at your character determined by your credit score. They'll be looking as well at the other underwriting elements, for example, collateral. Although no SBA loan is withheld because of missing collateral, they'll be looking at the marketplace and your individual business in the scheme of things in terms of the opening up of the economy and the provision of new customer sales as we get back to normal. They'll be looking at the capital that you yourself have in the business and whether that gives you a little bit of stability. Most small businesses do not have a lot of retained earnings to help them get through such a period like this. So there's an underwriting process that will be gone through with the emphasis on the part of the disaster office to bend over backwards, to be flexible, to provide the money in the pockets of small business owners. So that's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program of Assistance, and I would urge you to look at that. Even if you get that loan approved, you do not have to take it if you don't feel you need it, but it does require repayment. It is not a part of this stimulus package. It's a separate, relatively easy to apply for and get bunch of monies that comes directly from Congress through separate authority from this stimulus bill that I referred to earlier. Now, the third element of help is afforded through some advice that's really good from our alternative counseling coaches that we provide through grants in the state of Alabama. The biggest one is the ASBDC network. You can find them at asbdc.org. They are affiliated with the universities in the state of Alabama, and they are offering a series of webinars now on how to apply for and be successful in getting these economic injury disaster loans. In fact, right now, they are running one of the webinars live throughout the state in association with a request from chambers of commerce in Southeast Alabama and the Wiregrass. But there is a recording of all of the webinars, and they're all basically alike, where you can go and listen to them even if you can't register and attend the live webinar. I would urge you to go to the registration point, which can be found at, again, asbdc.org, and scroll down and you'll find the webinar schedules as well as the registration guidelines on getting involved in that. So our principal counseling partner, we have others like SCORE and the Women's Business Center and the Veterans Business Outreach Center, but the SBDC is the biggest agency with the biggest footprint in the state, and they are funded by SBA, and they're stepping up in a big way, in a professional way, to make information available to small business owners who need help. Excuse me. Now, there are other benefits that are online now. One of those is that our express banks, which is a separate level, a higher level of bank partnership between a bank and SBA, have the right to offer bridge loans that will have a delay in repayment schedule. Those bridge loans are designed to enable qualified small businesses who are suffering this loss of revenues to apply for from these express banks and get bridge loans that would help see them through this period of no revenues. That bridge loan can be in addition to the economic injury disaster loan that I've just talked about. So those are two separate loan programs that you can take advantage of. The economic injury disaster loan is made available through our disaster office, direct federal monies loan to you. And of course, the bridge loan program is the express lender, that is the bank that has that status with us, making available to qualified borrowers a loan that has a federal guarantee that can be used to supplement your missing revenues. Now, we've also, in our existing SBA guaranteed loan programs, where there already are loans that are guaranteed, whether 504 or 7A loan programs, our two mainstay everyday loan programs guaranteed by the to the lender by us. There is the now available option of banks delaying payments or repayments of those loans. In other words, the monthly payments that you've been paying can be suspended, and you can use the next 6 months to get your feet on the ground with these other programs we've referred to. So that means the small business borrowers who already have a 7A or 504 loan earlier in their business can delay those loan payments. Now, all of the other financial agencies overseeing the banking industry in our country, here I'm talking about the FDIC, the Office of Comptroller, as well as the Federal Reserve, are urging banks on conventional loans to reach out and help small businesses by deferring or delaying normal loan payments on conventional loans, not SBA loans or disaster loans, but conventional loans. We're asking banks to work with small businesses to make sure that that kind of offer is made available where it's appropriate for existing loan carriers on a conventional basis. Now, I've talked about then 3 elements of support. Number 1 is this new package, stimulus bill, I call it, if you will, that is still working its way through the legislative process in Washington. You'll hear a whole lot more about that once it's approved into law, with specifics on how to get involved in qualifying for that help. Secondly, we have, most importantly, right now, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Assistance Program that you see highlighted on the page right there in front of you. I would urge you to apply for a disaster loan if you need those monies to stay solvent during this period. Thirdly, we have the bridge loans made available, as well as delayed and repayment of existing SBA loans, and then a request for banks that have conventional loans that may affect you to also have some degree of delay of payment or repayment of those loans. Now, I've said an awful lot. Maybe a lot of it was confusing. I hope not. But I want to pause here, and Maria, you tell me if this is the right place for questions.
Sorry about that. I muted myself. Yes, I think this is a good place for us to pause for a moment here and just see if we have any questions. If you have a question, if you would please chat into the chat box and let us know if you have a question. If you have a question, just chat there in the box. Let us know if you have a question. And I see, it looks like I see a couple of people typing. One question that I have, Brent, is this is a common one that I've been getting via email. So people who are solopreneurs or self-employed, are they eligible for this loan?
Yes, they are. A sole proprietorship is one form of business ownership. It essentially is the personal owner of the business, not setting himself aside. Otherwise, he operates the business out of his own personal resources and work, and he is still a business owner, and as such, he can get a economic disaster loan.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you. A lot of our members are solopreneurs, so that's really good to hear. John actually has a question. John, I'm going to unmute you so that way you can just ask the question. Give me one moment. Maybe you can unmute yourself, John. I can't find you. Where'd you go?
Okay, you hear
Okay,
me
there
now?
you are. Yes, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
actually,
Thank you.
I got three questions. The first one is, a lot of us are entrepreneurs. We own more than one business. If you have more than one business in different fields or whatever, can you get a loan for each business?
Yes, the answer is yes. If you qualify, you have to go through the application and underwriting process. But if you do, you can have more than one. You can have one for each business.
Okay, and then isn't there a difference between if you're only asking for like 25,000 or more than 25,000, what you're looked at, or you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there is a waiver of the collateral requirement on express loans for up to $25,000. That's automatic. Beyond 25,000, there is a normal look for collateral that may be available to mitigate the risk by the lender, including the disaster office. But the stress is going to be on the flexibility of the disaster office, especially in trying to meet what your circumstances are and trying to get money in your pocket.
Okay. It seems like this is mostly for keeping people on your payroll, keeping your business going. What about lost revenue? Is there anything in that that could help the small businesses?
Well, that's the central reason for the loss of the potential to pay your employees and keep your employees actively employed as opposed to laying them off. The government is keenly interested in maintaining small businesses and their employee base. They're trying to avoid the circumstances where many thousands of employees are laid off with no support. And what we want to do is, in the application of the owner, give that owner a means of replacing the lost revenues. And those lost revenue replacement loans, the disaster loan program, if you will, should be used to meet everyday operating expenses, including payroll, in order to maintain those jobs for those employees.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, next I'm going to ask Levy to unmute himself so that way he can ask his question. And Michelle, it looks like you and Levy have the same question. So Levy.
Thank you, Michelle. Brent, great presentation. Thank you for your time today. Cool question. As a business owner, I'm sure that many of us who are presently on the line, as we continue to try to keep our businesses afloat, one of the biggest questions that I have today is, what is the expected turnaround time from application to approval during this process? So as business owners, we can kind of meet out our time. Do you have a response to that, Brent? Thank you.
Yes, I do, and it's really twofold. Please bear in mind that we're dealing with a unique disaster in the history of America. This disaster is nationwide. And in Alabama alone, we have over 400,000 small business owners. All of them, not all of them, but most of them have suffered enormous revenue losses. And so we are besieged by long lines of applicants wanting to get money to survive. And even though we're working as feverishly as we can to do that, there's still long waiting periods. So you need to be patient, you need to be determined, You need to be persevering. If you have a good application and it's complete, your loan request will be considered and acted on as soon as possible, given the enormous numbers that we have right now. So be patient. That puts, secondly, more emphasis for you on management of your existing resources. For example, the SBDC, who's doing these webinars I referred to, and again, I urge you to participate in those if you can. And if you've missed them all, I don't think you have, you can do the recordings on the ASBDC website. The counselors there are advising small business owners to be wary of spending any money if they have limited cash left. They should prioritize what they should spend. And that means a lot of payments are put on the shelf. And you simply have to deal with those people that you would normally pay in a way that asks for their consideration and understanding about your circumstance. So be very careful about preserving cash and using it for absolute essentials, even as you're waiting on a loan. The second thing you can do is go to your lender if you have an existing loan, whether it's SBA guaranteed like a 7A program or a 504 program, and ask for, as I mentioned earlier, a deferment of payments currently. In other words, give me a time, say 6 months, to get through this and let me survive, and I'll resume the payments at that time. All of the banks are expecting to have their small business clients come to them in that fashion, and indeed that's what's happening. So the banks for conventional lending, as well as banks that have SBA loans on the books for small business owners, are trying the best they can to delay some of those payments that would take away precious cash that you might have. So analyze what you're spending money on, eliminate everything that can be eliminated for the time being, spend the money only on what you absolutely need. For example, to keep employees working and handling the smaller number of orders you have, or buying inventory to do that. And everything else should be delayed in a way of being open with these people, your suppliers, for example, or others, about the reason that you're not able to pay right now.
Okay, thank you for that question. Burke Mays, if you would please unmute your mic so that you can ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, Burke does not have audio. So Burke asked, will there be a different application process outside of this website here for the federal money that's now going to the House?
The answer is yes, insofar as we know. At this point in time, the early indications are that that new stimulus bill will entail an enhancement of our guaranteed loan programs that are normally done through our member banks. Here I'm talking about the 7A loan program. For example, I've read where the $5 million limit on those loans will be doubled to $10 million, but I'm not certain of that. I've read where the guarantee that normally ranges for those type loans from 50 to 90% would be up to 100%. But again, that's just speculation. I'm reading the newspapers like you. There will be a process that does not involve the disaster loan entity for SBA. It's not a disaster loan. As I understand it in this new legislation, it is rather an enhanced 7A loan, and you'll have to make application through our member banks, just like you do now for existing 7A loan products that are not disaster related.
Okay, thank you for that question. And Michelle Davis, if you would please unmute yourself so that you can ask your question.
Brent, I just wanted to know, if you don't qualify for the amount you request, is there an alternate amount that's offered?
Almost assuredly that will be true. Yes, I can't say that emphatically or definitively, but yes. Again, the motive for the disaster is to get some money in the hands of business owners to help them survive, especially in regards to keeping their employees.
Okay, thank you for that question, Michelle. I actually have a quick question myself. So is it pretty much assumed that if you provide all of the requested or required documents to apply for the loan that you will be approved? Like, is there some other factor that will weigh into whether or not you'll actually be approved for the loan?
In the overall underwriting that goes into the disaster loan process, there is the usual underwriting elements that may hinder you from getting a loan. For example, if you have very poor credit, bankruptcy, and other issues, and no collateral, there may be a denial of a disaster loan for something like that. Again, they are trying to be as flexible as they can. These loans do have to be repaid, even though there's a lot of flexibility in terms of the number of years you can take to repay it, as well as the flexibility of not even having to make a loan payment until after 6 months of your application. So we're bending over backward to try to help, but we will have some applicants who don't turn out to be eligible. These loan programs are not giveaways. You do have to repay them.
Okay, and what is a good credit score? I mean, would it be, for some entities it's 600 and up, for some it may be 650 and up?
Yes, I think that's a reasonable judgment, Maria. We generally will insist that there be 600 and above for our successful loan applicants, which shows the kind of credit that can be trusted. Once you get under that, it's problematic.
Okay, thank you for that, Brent. Gina, if you would please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you. Yes, of course, there's a lot of information out there and it's hard to decipher everything, but I've been hearing about these loans that that we could possibly get, that they may be forgiven in the future. Is there any truth to any of that? And if so, are these the loans that they're referring to, or is that something else?
No, I think the headlines that we're all seeing, Gina, by the way, good to see you again, Gina. Gina and I go way back.
Thank you. You too.
The loans that I'm reading about stipulate that they will be enhanced 7A loans, and as such, the applications will go to our member banks that offer SBA guaranteed lending. The guarantee amount will be raised up to maybe even 100%. And the stipulations are, from what I've read, and again, I can't speak with authority about this because we don't have the final piece of legislation or the approval of the president, or certainly not the codification of the requirements. But some of the language suggests that a portion of the 7A loan that you apply for and get may be forgiven if it's related to paying for employees and payroll. Okay?
Okay.
So in other words, there's that added incentive that's not currently in any of our 7A loan programs. But again, that's just speculation. As I mentioned to begin with at the start of this call, we don't know exactly what that final bill will include.
Right. Will there be any time in the future that you will come back and tell us exactly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as soon as we hear from the headquarters of SBA and we get the legislation and we start working on the code of federal regulations to guide us in how we're going to roll this out, yeah, you'll be hearing a lot about that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, and Gregory, if you would please unmute yourself so that you can, well, actually, you're already unmuted. If you would please ask your question. And in fact, Gregory, I think you missed out earlier and we asked people to introduce themselves and name their business and the industry they serve. So if you would start there and then please ask your question, that would be great.
I did. I came in late. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. What I thought I overheard, Brad, that are there some additional loans to this loan that are available for businesses?
Well, if I hear your question right, it is that you're asking if there are additional loans in addition to the economic injury disaster loan program.
That's correct.
Well, that's what we're reading the headlines about concerning this latest stimulus package. It has not yet been approved into law, but it does include, if the early language is correct, an enhancement of our 7A loan program to allow small businesses to tap into that as well. Again, I can't speak to the certainty of it. I only can read what you read, but there is a chance that it's going to offer another avenue of loan support for existing small businesses.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question, Gregory. Okay, so Brent, if there was something else that you wanted to cover, it's 12:15 now. If we could end this in 15 minutes, that would be great. Is there anything else that you wanted to? I know, actually, I have one other question, Brent. I know, obviously, we're talking a lot about loans here. And someone had mentioned in the comments, I don't see it now, but I think there was some concern about taking on more debt. So are there any sort of grants that are being offered at the federal level for business owners? Any sort of grant programs that people can apply for?
The answer is no. There are no grants for-profit small businesses of the kind that we're all talking about here. There are grant competitions through allied federal agencies like DOD that provide grants when they're looking for specific high technology products or medicines or scientific products or processes. Those grants are competitive. There are no grants for-profit small businesses of the kind that I've heard speak to today. So that is a misimpression. What we do offer and fall back on, again, are our guaranteed loan products and our free coaching from experts on how to start and operate and maintain and grow and market your business. All of that coaching is free of charge. We also are the principal agency for helping a small business discover how to get in front of federal agencies to sell their product or service in the government contracting arena. We help disadvantaged small businesses get qualified for the set-asides. Those set-asides are federal in nature. There are 5 of those. The first one is women-owned small business, small disadvantaged business, SDB, hub zone, and then the one that gets a lot of attention is the 8A program, which is a mentor-protege program. So there are a variety of set-aside designations that as disadvantaged owners you could qualify for. And if you'll see me or talk to me, I can put you in touch with our procurement technical people about how to get qualified for those and open up an avenue of selling to the federal government as a set-aside designated business owner.
Thank you so much. So Brent, if there was anything else that you wanted to share, discuss, maybe even some situations in which you have worked with business owners who, well, have people already been approved for this? I'm sure no one has been approved for the loan thus far. Is that correct?
I do not know.
Okay.
We haven't seen any statistics on that, but it's only been, what, 10 days or so since this whole thing started. And I imagine that maybe there are some of the early applicants that might be approved, but I don't know that for sure. I do know they're working them as feverishly and as quickly as they can. But again, I want to stress to everybody who owns a small business to realize that in the scheme of things, you have a federal government that wants to help you get through this very difficult period. We're all aware of the circumstances, and you have no reason to be ashamed of talking to your suppliers and to people you owe money to, even your employees, that all of us are working together to try to get through this, including making available monies through our loan programs and deferment of existing loans in order to free up monies to pay your employees so they do not suffer unnecessarily. That's what it's all about. All of you as small business owners want to keep your valuable employees, the ones you've trained and fought hard to get and keep. And we want to help you do that, and that's the reason for these special provisions. I'm hoping that this stimulus package that I mentioned at the first of our call will be forthcoming soon, and you'll hear a whole lot more about that and how it might be a factor in your recovery from this.
Thank you so much for that, Brent. If there are not any more questions, excuse me, I just want to let you all know that this meeting is being recorded. Now, this recording will only be shared with members of the Mobile Area Black Chamber of Commerce. So if you're not a member of the Mobile Area Black Chamber of Commerce, I want to encourage you to visit our website. It's in the chat box here. It's mabcc.org. We have several virtual programs, meetings, workshops, etc., similar to this one that we're hosting during this time because, as Brent said, you know, about our country being committed to helping small business owners, we are very much committed to helping small business owners in Mobile. And so I just want to encourage and implore you all, if you are not a member of the Mobile Area Black Chamber of Commerce, I want to encourage you to please go ahead and join our organization today. And Brent, again, thank you very much. I know that you've already kind of given us the green light to follow up with you once that, you know, the House and all this stuff, once the legislation is put into place, we will be able to follow up with you. Sorry, I was looking at this remark from Gina. Thank you, Gina. We'll be able to follow up with you and host this again and get some follow-up information once you have more details, because as you said, things are still unfolding. And so outside of the information you've already provided, we're still waiting on that first piece that you discussed early on. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us. And again, thank all of you for joining us. Once again, we have about maybe 8 or so minutes left. So I'm actually gonna leave this up just in case people have questions. Feel free to unmute yourselves at this point. So that way, oh, I do have a quick question, Brent. I don't want to have people, I don't want you to be inundated with queries, but if folks have maybe some additional questions, or if there's a website or something that they can reference for up-to-date information, would you please provide that information, please?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I'm getting a lot of calls, of course, all of us in SBA are. We want to help, and therefore, don't hesitate to call me if you need me. My cell phone, I'm teleworking. My cell phone is 251-490-8638. I'll be happy to take your calls and help as I can. My email address, where you can send your questions as well, is Brent, B-R-E-N-T, .McMahan, M-C-M-A-H-A-N, @SBA.gov. So please come back to me if I can help.
Thank you so much, Brent. I just shared your contact information in the chat. So those of you, if you want to just simply copy paste what I've shared here in the chat, I've typed it there. Do we have any more questions, comments, feedback, anything? If so, just feel free to unmute yourself. And again, we're going to be here until 12:30. So just unmute yourself and share away. One thing I would like to share is I kind of wait for folks to ask questions or chime in if they please, is that we are hosting a virtual workshop next week. This virtual workshop is titled Mindset Mastery Monetization. Again, that virtual workshop is titled Mindset Mastery Monetization. And obviously it's a bit self-explanatory, but we want to really encourage people to shift our mindset during this time frame, because it's very easy to get caught up in the panic and the chaos that's happening around the world. So if we can get you to shift your mindset to that of a winning mindset, of a very diligent mindset, then we know that you will be prepared for success in business. Then the next component of that is mastery. Mastery being mastering your talents and the services and the products that you offer for your clients. So once we get you to get your mindset focused on winning and succeeding, then we're going to get you prepared for mastery of your skill sets and your talents and your products and services that you're offering to your clients. Last but not least, once we get you past those two phases, the final one is monetization. How do you make money off of these talents and skill sets that you have and products and services that you have? And most importantly, how do you make money in a time such as this one, where we're faced with a global pandemic and we're all scrambling to be innovative and keep our businesses alive? So again, I just want to encourage you to please, if you're not on our mailing list, join the mailing list so that you can get more information about joining that upcoming workshop series, which will commence on Tuesday through Friday of next week. It is free and open to the public. And again, that workshop is Tuesday through Friday of next week, Mindset Mastery Monetization. You can find out more information about that one. We haven't put it on the website just yet because we just started, planning it, and I just promoted it for the first time today. But what I will do is share the link to register if you have not already. And that's my that's my spiel for the day. Again, if anyone has any questions or comments or anything, feel free to unmute yourself. We have another 4 minutes here.
Hi, this is Erica. This question is for Carlos. I can't see whether he's still on the line. I know he do accounting and financial information. Will he be working with Brent? Because I know most business owners are going to have questions about the financial side that SBA is going to be asking for with these loans, to work one-on-one with Brent and maybe be a point of contact for the members of chambers.
Carlos, if you want to chime in. Now, Carlos will be a subject matter expert for the workshop that's taking place next week, but more specifically to Erica's question, Carlos, if you would unmute yourself and answer Erica's question.
Yes, Erica, definitely. If you need any assistance with, I'm sure they'll be asking for your, P&L and maybe a balance sheet. If you need assistance with that, I'm definitely open for anyone that needs help with that during the application process.
Okay,
Carlos,
great.
where
Thank
can
you.
she reach you? Carlos, could you share your contact information with everyone if they're interested in speaking with you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll type it in the chat box.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Now, some people may not be able to view the chat box, Carlos, because they're on a phone. So if you could just verbally say it as well, so that way they can.
So my phone number is 251-644-4121, and my email is carlos@thecwjgroup.com.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And I'm going to copy and paste the URL for the workshop that's taking place next week, the workshop series, Mindset Mastery Monetization. And again, if you have any more questions, we have 2 minutes left. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question or any feedback or concerns, anything.
I'm sorry, I missed Carlos's information. I was trying to get it.
Okay, Carlos, if you could please repeat your contact information.
Phone number 251-644-4121.
I apologize as well. Carlos, can you still put your information in the chat?
Yes, I
am in
will.
the vehicle. Okay.
Okay, excellent. We have 1 minute left here. Any final questions, comments, remarks, feedback, anything? And Brent, I will certainly be in contact with you so that we can follow up once the legislation is in place.
Very good. Look forward to that. Thank you for this very well-run event today.
Thank you, Brent. You really gave us a wealth of information. So we really appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to speak with us, because I know that you are just slammed with phone calls and emails. So thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome.
All right, you all. So again, we're in our final 15 seconds here. Any questions, comments, feedback, anything? If not, I want to encourage you all to please continue to be safe, wear your mask and your gloves. Taloria wants to know if I have a link or info that she can share on the Visit Mobile page. Taloria, are you able to unmute yourself? I want to make sure I understand your question. Are you saying with regard to this webinar or this meeting or something else? Taloria? Okay, Taloria, if you can hear me, I will follow up with you at a later time to make sure I understand the question.
The City of Mobile is also, we have a Working with Mobile website, and on that website, we will have links available for business owners. That site should be up and running on tomorrow. That will directly link them to those that Brent talked about earlier, such as the SBA, but also the federal sites, whether it be the Internal Revenue Service, the City of Mobile Revenue Department, the State Revenue Department. There will be direct links there that you will be able to go to in order to get the information for COVID-19, as well as anything else. But we'll have more information on that later on today, and I'll make sure that I get that information to you.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That would be great. Okay, if there are no more questions or comments or anything, again, I want to just encourage you all to please stay safe, wear your gloves, your mask, and try to practice social distancing as best you can. And we'll, of course, follow up with you all as we get more information once the legislation is passed. I'll circle back with Brent, and we'll go ahead and host a part 2 of this. So again, thank you all very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. Bye, Brent.